Okay, so we were supposed to record on Wednesday,
Hmm.
but Chrissy got a text message where I told her I had a really bad day at work and I could not pod.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I work on the website for this big company and I put like the ETAs of what's supposed to happen for the customer. They go to buy something and you have, oh, it's going to arrive tomorrow or 2 days or 3 days. We were doing some like major work with it. And I accidentally, instead of sending all of the numbers that it was supposed to be, I just sent nothing. I actually just deleted all of the
Oh
information.
no, it got deleted.
Yeah. Because I
Oh.
told the website, hey, you know all that stuff you have? How about you just delete it?
No, that's oh no, that's scary.
Yeah, and we're doing like this it's atypical, but basically we're doing this big overhaul. So it was like we were testing it to, okay, I'm gonna send the files and make sure it looked good. And I sent the
Yeah.
files and immediately we're like, it looks bad. So then we fixed it and then it was done within like 2 hours. There's like a 2 hour hole where the numbers looked bad. But IT got involved.
Oh no.
And then IT was like, Candace, we need to talk to you. And then I'm there with like 50 IT people.
Only you and 50 IT people?
Yeah. And they're all
Oh
like, who
no.
did this? What happened?
Why'd they call you if they didn't know?
Well,
Are you the manager of the team?
I'm the manager of the team and I'm the one who clicked send.
Oh. Happened to be both.
Yeah, it happened to be both. So it turns out I like broke the website, which then broke all of these like data streams, which then broke all
Oh
of these other, it was like
no.
cascading problems.
Oh.
And all these people are like, who did this? Why'd you do
No.
this? What are you doing? This and that. I'm like, oh my God, this is
That's
crazy. And then,
awful.
yeah, and then they're trying to like fix the problem. And in my mind, I'm like, this feels like an easy problem to solve. But the 50 people said that it was not an easy problem to solve. And they kept calling it a category 4. They're like, this is a
Oh
category 4 issue.
no.
Like this and that.
Ah.
And then the call started getting more people.
No, where'd they come from? How'd they get
There was,
invited?
I was on the call for 2 hours. And finally, when they let me go, there was 300 people on the call.
What?
There was 300 IT people on this call. And and they're like, all right, guys, we're gonna let Candace and her team go, but anyone else, you need to take a bio break and you're gonna be in for a long night. And
No way. Oh no.
I was like, oh my God. I felt like so small. I was like, oopsies, like
Oh
my bad.
gosh.
And then before they let me go, they said, Candace, we're gonna have a blameless post-mortem tomorrow.
What does that mean? Putting
It's
this to
like
rest?
to basically like go
Oh,
over how did this
recap.
happen? Yeah, and make sure it never happens again.
Oh,
But no one's at fault.
okay.
But Candace, you
Ah.
did do it. But it's blameless.
But we know
But
that
we
you did
know. So
it.
then the next day I was in this call and I felt like Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix when he's
Oh,
like there and there's like all of like the jury, the Supreme
no.
Court people, and they're like
Yes.
looking down at him.
I was thinking about TJ Klune.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes, exactly. Like TJ Klune. It was like I think it was like 15 different like super high up IT executives. And
Oh
they were so condescending. The one guy was
no.
like, "So Candace, your team, you try to get the best ETA for the customer. Is that right?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "So how did this achieve that?" And I was like,
You're kidding.
I want to kill you.
That's crazy. What? Oh
Ah!
my
I was
gosh.
like, I'm
Good thing
feeling
it was
blamed.
blameless. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it at all
Oh.
helpful? Their little memorial
There were
service?
there were some good things that came out of it. And I mean, like, honestly, one little girlie shouldn't be able to take down the whole website.
That's kind of true. I thought you were test running it, so there should be some more safety features in there.
That's what I'm thinking. I was like, it would have been helpful if like the process that we did said, "Hey, you're gonna delete all the data. Do you want to do it?" Like that would have been nice.
I think that could help a lot of people.
I think that could help. So anyway, there were
Oh
some
my
good
gosh.
things that came out of it, but I was just like, this is so crazy.
That is crazy. How are you feeling in the moment? Did you think it was funny then?
When it was happening, I was like, it was kind of crazy because you had like the call with the 300 people, and each time one of the IT leaders would speak up and say something, and then the next leader would speak up and say something slightly different. And then by the time you got to the third person, they would ask the question that the first person had said, but they didn't
What?
listen to them. So then
No.
then they would be like, "Well, did we think about this?" And I was like, after 2 hours, I started answering the questions for people because I seemed to be the only one who was listening to everyone. And I was like,
What?
they're like, "Can we get like a list of all the impacted customers?" And it's like they had sent that like 90 minutes ago. So then I was like, "It's here." And then 10 minutes later, someone else, "Can we get a list of the impacted customers? I don't know why we don't have that." And I was just
Oh my
like,
gosh. What happened? Unless were they the people who are joining like every 30 minutes or whatever?
"I don't know," but it was in the chat. I was just like,
That's crazy.
yeah, but by
Poor
the end of
thing.
it, they were like, after we did the full analysis, it turns out there wasn't really a big impact to the customers. And I was like,
Really?
yeah, I know. I was trying to tell you that from the beginning. But I think IT might be the biggest drama heads in corporate.
Oh my gosh, what a twist.
I know. Maybe HR.
They know all the secrets.
Yeah. They know everybody's business.
Yeah. Probably have a lot of tea they share among themselves.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that
Hmm.
all got resolved and you weren't even blamed. The Category 5 hurricane blew over with no damage.
I
Knocked over
know.
one chair.
Oh my God. Okay, speaking of hurricanes, did you watch Pulse?
No.
Chrissy!
Oh, I
Okay.
know we haven't been watching a lot of stuff, but Josh watched the trailer and he said that's too close to reality.
If he, okay, so people, Pulse is this new show on Netflix, and it's about these medical interns and residents at a Miami hospital, which, if you've been paying close attention, Chrissy's husband, Josh, is a medical intern, right?
Yeah.
Doctor
Yeah.
intern at a Miami hospital.
Yeah.
And so it's just chronicling their depiction of Florida, but it's like really crazy. You have to watch it. Please watch an episode tonight.
I know. I know. We need to.
One or two episodes. That's it. That's all I need you to do.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
we'll talk about that tomorrow when we recap A Court of Sound and Fury,
Mist and Fury.
Mist and
Aquamoth.
Fury. Oh, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're double timing it. We're working on our stock.
We are trying to stockpile very, very diligently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But today we are going over Tress and the
I
Emerald Sea.
know. I feel like it's been so long because now I've started reading Aquamoth in between.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, I'm glad we read this book, which has like a strong female protagonist that I liked.
Oh my gosh. It's so different. Every page I turn in The Court of Thorn and Roses, I'm like, she could have been Tress.
Tress
Could have
would
been
have,
level-headed.
yeah, Tress would have had that book cut in half.
Yeah, she would have just left. She would have been like, there's no cups here.
I'm
All of you
out.
guys are crazy.
Oh my God. I kind of, but it's weird because the reading is going really
I
fast.
know we talked about this. well, I guess I can say it tomorrow too, but for the first 40-ish pages, I was like, Feyre is so insufferable. But then I found I couldn't put the book down. I was like, why am I so into this? But I am. I want to know how it goes.
Junk TV. It's like my Real Housewives. You're like, ugh, these people. My brain is rotting, but like, also give me more.
Here. I know. Here I am on hour 10 of watching.
I know. Can't stop.
But we'll get there tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get there tomorrow. Okay. You
Today
ready?
is Tress. Ready. So maybe you can help me fill in the summary.
We got to
We're
do
gonna.
our 106th intro.
Oh, I forgot.
You got the baby brain.
I know. Yeah, she'll say it in a few months.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to Bookalicious, the podcast where two sisters chat about books we're reading. I'm Chrissy,
And I'm Candace
and today we're finishing Tress of the Emerald Sea and the Emerald Sea.
of
Tress
the Emerald Sea.
of the Emerald Sea. Um, yeah, part 3 of 3.
Yep.
So pretty exciting. Okay, so I feel like was this the shortest section? I was looking through my notes and I was like, wow, I feel like this went pretty quick, but maybe I just didn't take as many notes.
No, but I think a lot of things are getting tied up, like completed, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's true. Okay, so we left off where Tress had just gone to her mutiny meeting and she was like, wow, I'm so smart. I figured out all these things. Or not fooled, but I strategized to get everyone to go through the Crimson Sea to see Dragon Isis, and then we'll be one stop over from the Midnight Sea so I can see the Sorceress. It'll be perfect. But she found out in the last part that she signed her own death wish because now she's going to get traded at the dragon. Crow's going to trade her at the dragon to cure herself. And secondly, I think this is new in this part, she finds out that Crow was spying on them using midnight spores the whole time. So actually, none of
Mm-hmm.
this was a secret.
Yep.
Crow knew about it the whole time. Okay, so now they reach the dragon's Isis, and well, okay, before then, Tress is feeling kind of down with all of these updates in the plot. But who's there to comfort her but little Huck, who's there to tell her all these nice stories about his time out on the land. And so that cheers her up. But eventually they do reach the dragon's Isis. Captain Crow like sends out a letter and it opens up a portal in the sea. They
Uh,
just start walking down. I'm like, what? I don't know how the letter got delivered, but but that's pretty cool. So they walk down the tunnel. Crow drags Tress along. They make it to the dragon, and then the wildest thing happened. This took me by surprise. Crow is like, all right, Dragon's Isis, here is my prisoner who I have come to trade for you, um, as I said in my letter. And then he said, who is this? And then Tress goes, hello, Dragon's Isis. I have come to trade my prisoner for you. And I thought that was actually very clever. I did not see that one coming.
I didn't either.
Yeah, that was good. So we can get more into the details later. But basically, Tress plays this reverse Uno card. She and Crow have to like debate it out as to who's actually the prisoner and who would the dragon rather have in his lair. And the dragon in the end decides that he needs to let Tress go. She's going to be a little too much trouble because she doesn't want to stay there. So he decides to keep Crow. He does, in fact, heal her so that she can work for him. And he releases Tress. So Tress goes back up to the ship, and everyone is like, "Oh my gosh, how did she make it back?" And so then they crown her captain of the ship, and now they're sailing in a new direction.
Mm-hmm.
hmm So, do you want to keep going?
Let's stop there because that's the end
Okay.
of part 5.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah. So that feels like a good stopping place.
I like it.
And a lot happens in part 6,
That's true.
and it gets like a little Brando Sando classic. Throw it all in at the end. What's happening? A little confusing.
I know. Yeah, the ending, I was like, but we'll get there.
Yeah, so I listened to a podcast, the Busy Girl Book Club. They did Tress and the
Mm-hmm.
Emerald Sea a couple years ago, and right
Mm.
when it came out. And they mixed reviews depending. There's like three or four girls, and they rate and discuss. Some people really liked it, some people were kind of mid on it. But what a lot of people, what they were kind of critiquing on it was the ending, because all of these things
Mm.
started getting referenced, and they're like, who's that? Who's that? Why this? Why that?
Yeah,
And
that's
so
fair.
we'll kind of break down and go through all of the references that Sanderson was
Oh,
making when we get
very
there, which I think will
nice.
be good.
Yeah. Okay, so this first part. Any thoughts? Any comments you had? Any lines you pulled out?
So I thought it was really nice when Tress was like super upset and Huck was comforting her, and he said something like, oh, Huck said, well, I'll bite the person who's making you cry. And then Tress starts saying like a lot of mean things about herself because she feels so stupid and like, oh, I thought I was
Mm.
being clever, but I'm not. So then Huck bites her
Oh, yeah.
and she's like, why did you do that? And he says, I promised to bite the person who was responsible for you crying. And he's like, you're being like too hard on yourself. And I thought that was a really nice like life lesson of sometimes the person who is the meanest to yourself is like your inner
You.
dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah, that is good. I really like all the life lessons he puts in here. Maybe
Hmm.
it's because I agree with them, or I'm like, yeah, that's great. I think some people were like, ugh, too much, sounded too preachy at times. You know,
Oh, people put that in the reviews.
I saw that in some of the reviews, but I liked it. I don't know if it's because I overall agreed with a lot of the things he was saying, but I just thought he had some good reflections on life. Hmm.
I liked it. Maybe it's because we're coming off the heels of two books that
I
uh,
know.
really three books if you put in TJ. I mean, we've been getting preached at for months now.
Yeah, that's true. This is nothing.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, this is
We were ready for Akatar.
good. There was a reference that I thought was interesting that kind of goes back to your tale of your neurosurgeons.
Oh, about
The
memory?
Yes.
He had a lot of interesting things about memory.
Yeah. So basically saying how you and Josh were talking about when you access a memory, you're just remembering the memory. And so every time you access it, you're corrupting the file a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And so I was like, oh, okay. It's
Next
all coming together.
level. I do like that. And didn't he say something about like each time you go back to it, you're a different person, and so you're like tainting the memory in a different way or something? Was that part of that? Maybe that's another line.
Yeah, no, that's part of it. So he says, memories have a way of changing on us, souring or sweetening over time, like a brew we drink, then recreate later by taste, only
That's
getting
right.
the ingredients mostly right. You can't taste a memory without tainting it with who you've become.
That's right. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. And then the last part that I really liked was he says, we always pretend the ideals and culture of the past have aged like wine, but in truth, the ideas of the past tend to age more like biscuits. They simply get stale.
That was good. I
Because
like that.
I feel like so often you hear, oh, the world is so much more dangerous now than it was when I was growing up, or it's so much more horrible now than X, Y, or Z. And I think later on, Tress kind of reflects on that concept. And she's like, well, when I was a kid, my parents were doing all of the worrying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it felt safe. Not because it was always this way.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Hmm.
I like that. Yeah, I feel like because he isn't like this in any of his other books that you've read, right?
I mean, I felt like Elantris had a lot of life facts.
Oh, did
And
it? Yeah,
I
maybe it
mean,
did.
yeah, because he was talking a lot about like unity and how to set up society and like what makes sense. I think there's definitely a lot of like that metaphor, maybe philosophy thinking, but this is a little bit more heavy-handed, perhaps, than some of his
Yeah.
like Mistborn series, I would say.
Yeah. But I feel like that fits with the Princess Bride of like, because in the movie, he's like reading the story to the kid. And so now
Hmm.
it's like he's telling us a story, and every so often he turns to us and he's like, "By the way,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
taint memories or whatever."
Hmm.
Yeah. I saw the line that you talked about last time about people selling their minds versus people selling their bodies. I interpreted it
Oh.
differently. Not
Oh, how
that
did you
differently,
read it?
but well, okay, so the line says, yes, intellectuals and scholars are paid to think deep thoughts, but those thoughts are often owned by others. It is a great irony that society tends to look down on those who sell their bodies, but not on those who lease out their minds. And I think by sell their bodies, I think just in general that means any manual labor, like a construction worker, where
Oh,
it's
I could
like,
see that. Yeah.
yeah. So
Like
I
blue
guess it
collar
was
work.
basically, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's similar to what you're saying, but more expansive to
Y-
anyone with physical labor.
Yeah, I think that's a good point because I was making it like very because when you hear sell your bodies, you think of a sex worker.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, right? But you're right. Like if you're thinking about it, either you're going to do manual labor or you're going to, and that can be any type of labor, or you can do some like mental work. And
Hmm.
people think of the thinkers. Oh, you're very X, Y, and Z. You have a lot of positive attributes. If you're, a doer, then you have more like negative connotations with that. Like, oh, you can't be smart
Yeah.
or this and that. You kind of
Yeah.
look
I
down
guess
on
it shows
them.
what we value of
Hmm.
like intelligence versus, I don't know, strength, I guess, or physical.
Well, I think it's flipped, right? Because like if you went back to caveman time, if you were a
Hmm.
thinker, they'd probably be like, we don't really need you. I mean, I guess if you're inventing fire, maybe you'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But strength, you probably wanted people who are stronger more than people who wanted to be a philosophical thinker.
Yeah. Although, okay, because actually we're saying like intelligence, but like it's not necessarily intelligence. You've just kind of gotten this education or training that's allowed you to do this job. And potentially if, the construction worker, whoever, also had the same training, like they could also do the job. Because when you think about like a philosopher, it's like, well, philosophers aren't paid anything. As far as like who
Yeah.
do we value? It's like not the philosopher, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's just like I I guess it just based on like how money works, it just seems like the jobs that are paid more are the ones that require like the education and the schooling. Although if
Yeah,
you do like a technical manual job, that can be you can
that's
earn a
true.
lot of really good money. Like if you're like a master electrician, you're like a master plumber, you're doing
Good
that kind
point.
of thing, you make good money. So I don't
That's
know.
true. So
But
yeah, so maybe it's not cut and dry.
well, I was gonna say even I don't even think it's like necessarily the money because you could be a master plumber and make $100,000 a year. You could be a data analyst and make $100,000 a year. And if you asked 100 people, I would expect more people to have positive thoughts about the data analyst versus
Mm.
the master
Mm-hmm.
plumber, even though they're both very like technical and rigorous jobs that
That's a good point.
require very specific skills that not just anybody can do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this did kind of make me think of like we I guess we view it as more like rare, I guess, if you can train your mind to do this really technical thing like data
Hmm.
analytics. But we're like, oh, physical labor, anyone could learn that. But it's like, I
Yeah,
mean, they're kind of similar in the way it's like you could also learn data analytics if you really had
yeah,
all the training. And also, physical labor is actually very challenging, and I couldn't do it without a lot of training too.
right,
So
exactly.
interesting.
Hmm. I caught another deadline
Which
reference.
one?
The beginning of chapter 37. So Tress is like desperately trying to figure out a solution now that they're on the Crimson Sea and they're trying to um be like safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had written just before that desperation breeds innovation. I was like, "Oh, I
Oh.
could be a homely truth."
Yeah. You're ready.
Yeah, but on page 37, Sanderson says, nothing motivates quite like a deadline,
I,
particularly one that emphasizes the dead part.
oh my
And I was
gosh, I
like,
highlighted that too.
yeah, see? I was like, okay.
Hilarious. Does he always reference deadlines in his books? Because that was like one of my favorite parts of Elantris. So that cursed deadline.
The cursed deadline. I know. I haven't noticed, but I I don't know if I've read a Sanderson book
Since
since we
Elantris.
completed Elantris. I might have read his Skyward series. I can't remember. If I read them again, I think I would take note if I saw it.
Mm-hmm. I think we could add another Sanderson to the list.
Hmm. I think we talked about this last time, but I wrote at the end of 38 that Tress is becoming like her true self
Mm-hmm.
on this journey. And will the new Tress and the Charlie still love each other? Did we talk about that last time?
Yeah, we did talk about it last time.
And light spoiler to the second half of this, I really like how Sanderson addresses that question. I didn't think he would.
Yeah, I was editing the second or last episode today, and you pulled out a lot of things. You truffle pigged out a lot of things that came up. I don't know if you remember all the predictions you came up with, but they were good.
Well, so I know the one about Huck.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You were really on the somebody Charlie has been transformed into Hoyd.
Yeah, I did really think that.
And I was like, no, I don't think that, but maybe Huck. And I kind of threw that out, but I didn't really think it. But I think you had the instinct. The podcast that I listened to, the Busy Girl Book Club, they said that they all figured it out.
What?
And they said it was so obvious.
No way.
And one of the things that they said that they were like, oh, this is what tipped me off is that when Tress was upset on the island, she would go to Charlie and he would just tell her like mundane things to make her feel
Yeah.
better. And so when she's upset in the journey, Huck would tell her these mundane stories about his rat life.
Yeah.
And I was like, all
I mean,
right,
it
you
is
guys are
there.
geniuses.
Ah, man. Well, okay, to be fair, when we recorded our last episode, we hadn't gotten to that part yet.
Okay.
We hadn't
They made
gotten to
it
the
sound like
mundane
they knew
story.
immediately. So, I mean, I don't know. I'll have to inquire. When did you find out?
Which page? Okay, because I was looking through all my notes and I highlighted this line where it says, the fact that he found these things interesting enough to talk about was in itself engaging. The topic mattered less than his enthusiasm. And my note was, he's Charlie. But I actually don't
Mm.
know if I think that's about Huck. And that might be the
Yeah.
same part they're talking about. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So I just wanted to point out that I also had a big brain move.
I give you the win on that one because I didn't think Huck or Hoyd were really Charlie. And
Hmm.
you from the beginning, you were like, somebody on this boat is Charlie.
We need to do like Glass Onion style, lock everyone in.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else with the dragon?
The dragon I thought was interesting because it sounded like Tress could have gone in that cave and lived with that dragon, and she probably would have had a good time. The dragon didn't seem that mean at all.
You really didn't. Well, I mean, you're kind of like locked in a basement. You can never leave for all of eternity. So,
She was locked on a rock
you
for
had the
all
sun.
of her eternity.
I guess that's true.
I
I don't
mean,
know though. I mean, yeah, honestly, when we met the dragon, it didn't seem as bad as everyone made it sound. I
yeah,
agree. Yeah, he's like, I feed you. You can do meaningful work. You can take reading breaks.
you're basically a research assistant, you're a PhD student, I guess. Like
I
you
guess
go in
that's
this
true.
dungeon. this windowless dungeon. And you're like, that's not too bad.
And you're like, I don't want to research this. This is what we have funding for. You're doing it.
It was kind of confusing, like why the dragon wanted all of that research. He just likes to know things, I guess.
I think so. I think he just kind of enjoys it. That's his hobby. I guess kind of like Ulam. You have all of
Yeah.
eternity, so
All right.
that's a pretty good use of time.
Yeah.
Better than other things you could do.
So one of the things you didn't talk about in your recap is that the dragon would be able to heal Crow, but only temporarily.
Yes. Do you think that's true? Or do you think he made that up?
I could see it being either way. I could see it being like, okay, yeah, you can't fully eradicate this spore stuff once it's in your system. I could also see the dragon saying that so that Crow sticks around.
Mm-hmm.
But at year two, if Crow's not getting sick again, because it sounded like she would have to get like another round of treatment effectively.
Yeah.
So if she never gets a recurrence of the symptoms, then she would probably know that he's lying and she'd try to run away, maybe. I don't know.
But I think it's different down there. That was my understanding. Where she's
Oh,
like
it's
kind
like
of
the
constantly being
air.
healed or something. That was my understanding. Like if you're here, then
Oh.
you don't need to get reheal. Or no, maybe I misunderstood that. Maybe if she's there, then yeah, he just is always he'll reheal her when it's needed. That's a good point. I don't know.
So if it's that like it's the air or something neutralizes the spores and then that's why, then I think that would be a clever lie and it doesn't really matter if it's true or not, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if it is a lie, then she'd probably find out within like a year or two. So it doesn't seem like it'd be really beneficial for the dragon to say that because at some point she'll figure it
Can she
out.
escape?
I don't know. She could try.
Yeah, I guess you can try, but I don't know. Sounds pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Did you think that was a good ending for a crow?
I thought that was the best ending that we could do for Crow. Yeah, because in my opinion, she had made herself pretty much unredeemable.
Yeah.
Um, I think Sanderson did a good job presenting her as someone to have like empathy for, where you're like, I can see how you got to this place, but at her core, she's very selfish and
Mm-hmm.
she was willing to sacrifice anyone else for herself.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the best ending for her, other than her getting walking the plank. What do you think?
I I thought it was really good. Yeah, because it felt fitting where you're like, yeah, I kind of do feel like she deserves this. Like I didn't feel bad for her that she was
Hmm.
getting sent to the dragon. And she's not dying, but she does have to live a life of suffering or
Well,
whatever it is with the dragon.
it's interesting because Tress really likes the research, so she probably would have been okay doing that. I don't know that Crow likes the research, so that might be torture for her.
That's true. Yeah.
Although she wasn't even doing research, she was going to be swabbing the deck, or she
Oh,
was going to
why
be
was
a
she gonna do
cleaner.
that? Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, he was going to give her like a crummy job,
Oh,
but
because she's so nasty.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like I don't want you ruining all my other workers.
Hmm. I felt like so what before we even got to the dragon, there was a part where you're looking at like Crow and how she would lead the people versus Tress, and
Mm-hmm.
Crow was uniting everyone based on like fear,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Tress was uniting everyone based on hope. And that reminded me of the key theme of Elantris.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. What was it? Like never lose hope or something? Like as long as you have hope, you can. Oh, that's how they stayed alive in Elantris.
Well, I mean, basically what it was is that you had these dueling parties trying to get control. And one control would they were like, you listen to us, otherwise we kill you.
That's right. Uh-huh.
And the other one was like, you listen to us because we help you, type of thing. Like, we help
Yeah.
each other here. Like, how do we unify people? Do we unify them through love? Do we
That's
unify them through
right.
like hate? And so it
Yes.
felt like a similar type of dynamic where you have these two options the crew can go on. And
Mm-hmm.
they ended up going with uniting
Tressy.
on, yeah, Tressie with love and hope. And I really like that.
I really like that too. It reminded me of Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Do you
What do you
remember that
mean?
line? Where he says, "But I'd rather be feared or loved. I'd rather people fear
Oh,
how much they love me."
oh my God. Yes.
That's a good one. Oh, he had a religion line, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, where?
I kind of forget honestly what this is about, but it says even two preachers from the same moon school would disagree. That part had comforted her. If religion couldn't get it together, then she could be forgiven for being a mess herself. It's
Mm.
like fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I like that about Brandon Sanderson because he's clearly a very like religious person, but his books introduce a lot of like ambiguity and grayness.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like a lot of religions, not all, but a lot try to make things very black and white. This is right, this is wrong, and try to organize the world in a very neat fashion.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not reality. Things aren't black and white very often.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like how he kind of balances that.
I think he does a really good job of like showing different facets of ideas and I don't know, like we're gonna go into the end exploring like different like what if Tress and Charlie had ended up together and they were like this? Like he's able
Mm-hmm.
to fit a lot of that in one story.
Yeah. There was a reference to Taylor Swift in my mind.
Oh, wait, I had a Taylor Swift reference too. Is that this section?
I don't know. What's the
Okay.
section?
Oh, it's page 376 for me.
Oh, 286 for
Um,
me. It's
okay,
when,
no, this is a later one. Oh, there might be
oh,
two
there's
Taylor.
two.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is Tress is like begging for her life with
Oh,
the
no, this might be
dragon.
the same one. This is the dragon one. Yeah.
Okay. She's begging for her life from the dragon. And the dragon's just like, I don't care about any of that. Like, why shouldn't I take you right now and put you to work in the kitchen? And she's like, because, because. And she was like, the Tress that would have wanted to please him, that Tress, that Tress was dead. And I was like, thinking of Taylor Swift, like, look what you
Yes.
made me do.
That was the exact line I wrote down. Yeah, question for the author. Was that a reference to Taylor Swift?
Mm-hmm.
That was so funny. Okay, I also realized a big part I forgot about the dragon. So Tress successfully barters her way out of the deal, leaves Captain Crow behind. But the thing is that when you give a, prisoner to to the dragon, he gives you a like prize.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know what I want. And so instead of asking for one big gift, she asks for three little gifts.
I thought that was smart.
I was surprised by that. I was like, I didn't know what she'd ask for. So she asked for three gifts for her crew people. So she had a new Etch-a-Sketch translator thing for Fort because Captain Crow had destroyed his.
Yep.
She asked for glasses for Anne, so Anne
Mm-hmm.
could finally aim her cannon. And then she asked for, was it a letter or something from Sally's dad?
She wanted to know where Soleil's dad was.
Right. So somehow she got this information of like the last island he was on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, so it was great. Were you surprised by those gifts? Is that what you would have chosen?
I would have just been like, "Can you help me get Charlie?" And he was like, "No, can't do that. Can you help me get to the Midnight Sea?" I can't help with that either. I'd be like,
Oh,
"All right.
why'd come here?
Yeah, like I'll hit the gift shop on my way out. Like I
I
don't know."
know. You have a
Yeah,
t-shirt?
you have a t-shirt, a little magnet.
I defeated the dragon's ices.
Yeah, but I thought that was really clever because then Tress comes back. And then, whereas again, it's like Crow destroyed all these things for these people, Tress comes
Yeah.
like giving them things. And then you
Hmm.
really unite the people and they really want to support you, which comes in handy
Yeah.
in part 6.
Yeah, it does. And I guess also the captain went down to the dragon to get something for herself, but then Tress went down and ended up giving away a prisoner, but for other people.
Hmm.
So nice, nice change.
I think my last comment in this section was when Tress is like thinking about how she's become basically like a spore master.
Oh yeah.
And she's really liking like the research and all of this stuff. She's like finding out these new things that she would have never known. And she says, what else would she never have known about herself if she hadn't left her home island? And then this is Hoyd to themselves. It is one of the most bitter ironies I've ever had to accept. There are unquestionably musical geniuses of incomparable talent who died as street sweepers because they never had the chance to pick up an instrument.
I like that line a lot.
Yeah, and I thought of Serena Williams.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because the Williams sisters' dad was just like, you guys are going to learn tennis. And then at a very young
Fascinating.
age, he's like, you learn tennis, and now they're the best tennis players ever.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
Yeah. And it's like, what if he was not someone athletically inclined? Would that have ever
Mm-hmm.
happened? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's interesting. Or someone who didn't value sports and only valued math.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, what if he was like an academic and was like, you, Serena, you need to learn math?
Yeah,
Maybe she
I
would have
know.
been great at that too. I don't know.
She could do anything.
Yeah.
There, have you heard of man, what's his name? Sir Ken Robinson. That's his name. I think he passed away a few years ago, but he has some really great TED Talks and books. I think I've read one of his books, but on education. Um, and I'm looking it up now. One of his TED Talks is called "Do Schools Kill Creativity?" And he's kind of
Mm.
talking about this idea of like, what if, Bon Jovi's parents or whoever saw him play. Honestly, I don't know anything about Bon Jovi. I forget which example he used, but I imagine Bon
Yeah.
Jovi plays the guitar. I don't know.
Sure.
But what if they saw
I
him
don't
playing
know
the
either.
guitar? I know,
Yeah.
probably. And they were like, guitar is worthless. Put it away. And then you never
Hmm.
would have had Bon Jovi. And so it's
Yeah.
like just valuing things other than academics, like we're talking about earlier.
Well, if we think about The Alchemist, right? That's what the parents tried to do. They tried to say, you go be a
Yeah.
lawyer
Well, in the actual real life.
in the real life. Yeah. They said, you go
Yeah.
be a lawyer. And Paolo was like, all right, I'll try it. But then it was just killing him
Yeah.
and he had to run away
Mm-hmm.
and unpack. It sounds like a lot of trauma.
Visit the rehab center a few times.
So I think there's probably there's some things where it's like you know what you want to do
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have the opportunities to do it, but it's like you so desperately want to do it, you go after it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And like people can't really stop you from doing it. But I think there's other things where it's like you didn't even know that you were so good at that.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that to fight for it because you didn't even know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's interesting. They also
Hmm.
can't try every instrument.
No. Mm-mm. You
What if
can't
I'm
try
really
every
great at
possibility.
clarinet? I know. I would never know.
I think I don't know if it's like called a genius theory or something, but basically, like everyone is good, very, very good at like a certain subset of things.
Okay.
And some people just never come across those particular traits that they're really good at, or they try to fit themselves into an area that they're not naturally good at.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an interesting thought.
Interesting. That actually reminds me of a line from, I think this might be the next section
Okay,
already. Do you want
let's
me to
go
read the
for it.
line? Or
Yeah,
should we? Okay.
let's
All right.
let's read the line and then recap the next section, I
Summarize.
think.
Okay. So this line is Tress has come back. She's now the captain, and she's like, I don't know how to be a captain. She's like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And so first he talks about how people think of time as consistent, steady, and stable. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. There's two lines here. The one I wanted to point out though is not that one. Okay.
Okay.
So Tress is captain. She doesn't know what she's doing. Um, and he says, "We can keep going that way for a while. We can pretend we fit that jug, awkward nooks and all. But the longer we do, the worse it gets. The more it wears on us. The more exhausted we become. Even if we're doing nothing at all, because simply holding the shape can take all the effort in the world.
Mm-hmm.
More if you want to make it look natural." And so it's like fitting into that mold that you actually don't fit into.
Mm-hmm.
It's exhausting. I thought that was a great analogy.
Oh, okay, okay. Actually, there's one more thing that I wanted to reference before this,
Okay.
before we move to the next part, is that Charlie says he says something to Tress where Tress finds out that Charlie's been lying to her. Or I'm saying
You
Charlie,
mean
Huck.
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 Mm-hmm.
Huck has been lying to her about something. And he says something to the effect of, well, I didn't want you to know because for your own good, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And Hoyd makes a comment to himself saying that is the worst reason to not tell someone something.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're really saying is that you're not smart enough to figure out the decision on your own, and I know better than you do.
Yeah. That was interesting.
And it's interesting because once we start reading A Court of Thorn and Roses,
Oh,
I was like, this comes up like 1,000%.
that's a great point. Don't you love how healthy these relationships are? Interest. It's so refreshing.
Yes,
Such a
I
good
know.
story.
A nice cozy read before we go into the mental hospispittal
Oh my
of A
gosh.
Court of Thorn and Roses.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Oh, okay. Last thing is that Fort, I feel like he should be on Pawn Stars.
Oh my gosh, he just
Yeah.
wants to make a deal.
Just constantly making deals for like random things. Okay, that's it. Now let's go into part six.
I like Fort.
Okay. So Tress is the captain now, and her first mission as a captain is that we find out that Hoyd is throwing all the food off the ship. And everyone's like, this
Yes.
is crazy. Why is he doing it? Then we find out it's because Huck told Hoyd in his stupor to be throwing all of this food out. And they only have enough food to get back basically to the Emerald Sea.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Right.
then Tress is like, oh my God, like now we like what do we do? Then that's when Soleil and everyone's like, oh, we can just eat the green spores, like we can eat the leaves.
Right.
And then Huck was like, ugh, now we just get to eat garbage food and we still go to the Midnight Sea. So Huck is like continually trying to convince Tress to not go on the journey. And he's like, you can't do it. Like, there's these three like trials that you have to overcome. And like, first, there's like the midnight spores, which is really dangerous. There's like these big monsters that come out. He's like, and then if you get past that, there's these gold armored soldiers that are there. And then if you get to the final stage, there's like this Rapunzel tower type of thing that is covered in metal, so you can't use any spores to get up to the top, and there's like no way
Right.
in. So Tress is like, okay, well, I can. She found out when Crow was using her midnight spore that she was able to like secretly like tap in her brain and control the like
Right.
ink blot. So she said, I think I'm good enough with the spores where I can control the monsters. So she's like, got that done. And then for the gold armored people, she's like, I think we can wrap them up in the green spores, in the vines.
Did she actually have all these ideas?
I think so. Yeah, they had like a plan how to do each
They did
phase.
have a plan. Okay. I
And then
forgot about that.
and then the last phase is that Huck was able to get in through like the tiny window or something, or he's
Right.
like, I'm able to get in. So that was like the original plan. But now that Tress is like, Huck is trying to sabotage this. She's like, I don't know how he's going to help us get to the final stage. She's like, but we're going to do parts one and two and then figure out the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So before they go to the island, she's like, I really want to make sure that I can control these monsters. So I'm just going to go out on the dinghy
So
myself.
smart.
Yeah. Me and I think it's Huck is with her.
Yeah, Huck makes himself go. He's like, no, you might need me.
Yeah. So they go together, and then what ends up happening is that the midnight monster shows up, and instead of tipping over her dinghy, he actually grabs her and starts taking her to the witch's lair.
Well, it's because of Huck.
It's because of Huck, we find out later.
Oh, I thought she found out at the moment because he says something. Do you remember that? He
Oh,
says, I have free passage.
yeah. So Huck says, I have free passage. And so Tress is like, oh, you're the witch's familiar,
Yeah,
basically.
little
Like you're one
minion.
of them, the minion. And Huck's like, you got me. So you're
Mm-hmm.
right. So then the monster starts taking them to the witch's lair. And then you find out that there's like all of these rocks, and there's only like a very specific way that you can go in order
Mm-hmm.
to get to the lair. And that's why all of these ships never made it. Because even if you got past the monster, then your ship would get crashed.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're there, and so Tress just gets to take the fast pass straight up Rapunzel's tower to the
Mm-hmm.
tip top, and now we're at the witch's lair.
Yes.
Do you want me to keep going?
Um, Honestly, I don't have a ton of notes, so yeah, why don't you just keep going? What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So then we get to the witch's lair, and the witch is there, and she's like, Huck, great job. You did awesome. You brought Tress here. Like, good job. And I think she like sends him away or something. And Huck is like, ugh, I hate myself. Okay. Then the witch says, "All right, Tress, since you got here, you can get any gift that you want. What do you want?" And she's like, "Well, I want Charlie." So she's like, "Okay, bam." And she snaps her finger, and then like, Charlie appears. And it's Charlie looks just like him, and she's like, "Oh, this is great." She's like, "Have you harmed him or done anything to him?" And she says, "Nope, he's good as new." And she's okay. So then they start like walking out, and Tress is having all of these thoughts where she's like, I've gone and grown and done all of these things, and here's Charlie who seems exactly the same as the day he left.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't sit right in her mind because she's like, how can all of these things have happened to me and he's had zero growth? Like, he's not
Again.
traumatized, nothing.
Yeah. So mature.
Yeah. So then she realizes that's not really Charlie, that's a fake.
Mm-hmm.
So then she marches back up and she's like, this isn't Charlie. You gave me a fake. And then the witch, what does she do? I think the witch is like, oh my gosh, you caught me. And then we find out that Huck is Charlie. And the only way that Huck could have made himself a human again is if he brought Tress to the witch.
And Tress got cursed.
Right. So he would bring Tress there and then she would get cursed and then he would be freed.
Right.
Basically
Mm-hmm.
like a swap. And so Huck or Charlie, he didn't want to do that. So that's why he was trying so hard to make sure that she didn't get there.
Yeah.
And so then all of these things come out and they're like, oh my gosh, like, what do we do? And Charlie's like, I don't want you to be cursed, this, that. And then all of a sudden, Tress's crewmates, they all show up on the ship. And somehow Tress
This
remembers
was
something.
crazy.
Yeah, Tress remembers something that Hoyd said about like the things that he couldn't talk about X, Y, and Z, and she was able to basically pick out that if Hoyd got up Rapunzel's tower to the tip top, that his curse would break. And she had found
Yeah.
out that Hoyd was actually very, very powerful. And so she's like, he would be able to save them all.
Right.
So now the plan, she just needs to get a hold of everyone and get Hoyd to the top of the tower. And it turns out that Fort's iPad that he had been using, the witch had another iPad and she was able to look through it
That's right.
and
Mm-hmm.
spy on them. And so I think Tress like talks into the iPad and she's like, hey, bring
They like
Hoyd to the top.
FaceTime.
Yeah, they like
I thought that
FaceTime.
was crazy.
She FaceTimes on the iPad and she's like, get up to the top of the tower and bring Hoyd. And so everyone's like, all right. So then they do all these crazy things. They bring Hoyd to the top of the tower. And then, okay, this is where it gets really crazy. Should I keep going?
I think we just finish it.
All right. So then we find out that the witch is from Elantris.
What? Wait, I knew there was Aeons mentioned.
Yeah. So she is an Elantrian. And so the deal that Hoyd made with the witch is he showed up and he said, I want to have Elantrian magic too. But the only way that you can do it is if an Elantrian like gives you an invitation.
What? Wait, okay, totally missed that.
Yeah. So I had to do a little bit of research, like confirming all the things. But this is like the
Oh.
crazy Brando Sando ending that was like
Oh.
crazy. And also potential spoiler alerts to other parts of the Cosmere, but I don't think that they're big spoilers in my opinion. Okay. So Hoyd wanted to get Elantrian magic. Elantrian magic, for people that didn't follow us on the 30-hour journey, it's
Still can.
super cool. You draw like magic spells and things just appear. And so he wants that.
It's pretty
The
cool.
witch is Elantrian. He can only become
Wow.
Elantrian if like the witch invites him to be. She gives him like a pass. And she made a deal with him. She said, I will give you that power, but I'm going to make you a dummy. And
Yeah,
I
you have
don't
to
know
break this
what,
curse.
and now you have to break this curse. And I don't know what she got in return from it. I'm sure she got something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know what they said. It sounded like it was a bet, but we don't know what
May
she would have won. I guess she would have won that he's always an imbecile if he never broke the curse.
Yeah, and maybe she just didn't want him poking around her island because, well, we'll get there. So anyway, so now Hoyd's an imbecile, and now he has to try to get his way to Rapunzel's
Back to
tower.
the,
Yeah.
yeah.
So once he gets back to the tower, now he's won the bet, and now not only does he have his Hoyd magic, now he also has her magic too.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I think like a spaceship shows up or something and like teleports her away.
Well, okay, yeah, that part was really strange because he like defeats her, and then Tress is like, "Okay, well, you need to make Charlie human before you go, or like before we fully defeat you." And she was like, "I can't, because then I'd have to curse you."
Yeah.
And so like she can't like undo the thing. And then it was weird because Tress was like, "Okay, well then we banish you," which I was like, I feel like that's making your chances even lower that you could rescue
I think
Charlie.
I think Tress is like my husband's a prisoner of war now, and I'm just gonna be married to a rat.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm here for it. So yeah, so then she like tells Hoyd to send her off, and then yeah, he blasts off her tower.
yeah, and she like flies off in a spaceship. And then Boyd's like, "Well, let me look at the magic spell that she did now that I have Elantrian magic." And
Yeah.
how that works is they draw like a special shape and it does a certain thing. And he's like, "Well, I can just do a little switcheroozy on this magic spell. And now, instead of it being a swap to heal Charlie, he just has to bring Tress home and then he gets to become a person."
No, I think it was instead of Tress needs to be cursed, it turned into Tress needs to be versed. He had to like rap for her. I think that was
Mm.
it.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Yeah. So
I think that
he,
was it.
yeah. So now Hoyd with his special magic, he like changes it up. Now they both go home. Charlie spits some rhymes, and now they are king and queen.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, they make it back to the rock. They find Tress's family. They're all reunited. The king is like, "Oh, I always knew Charlie would do that and defeat the sorceress. That's why I abandoned him." And Soleil becomes the captain, and I don't think she's found her dad yet, but she's gonna keep sailing to find
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
implied that she's gonna find the daddy-o.
yeah. And then everyone on the rock gets paid lots of money.
Yes.
Justice restored.
Yes. So, okay, the backstory on the sorceress. Are you ready?
Okay. So did it actually say she's from Elantris? Or you just piece that together because of the Aeons?
Well, I was able to figure it out. So I figured out that she was from Elantris because it was the Aeons and then the type of magic that she was doing and how she was described. So I knew like the second I saw Aeonic, I like underlined it and I was like, "Oh, is she Elantrian?"
Oh, okay.
So I figured that out, but I was like, "Who is she from Elantris? I don't remember her."
So she actually was someone in Elantris?
So I had to Google this part.
Oh,
Yeah, so are you ready for this?
yeah.
Okay. So I told you how there are like the world travelers or the world hoppers, the people who can like
Yeah.
bounce around.
Mm-hmm.
There's a group of like Elantrians that left their planet and they're like, we're going to go bounce around.
Okay.
The Sorceress is one of them.
Was this in Elantris or was this in another book?
I don't, this must be in another book, but because it
I
was
don't
on
remember
like
this.
it wasn't in our Elantris book that we read.
Okay.
Must be in
Okay.
like a subsequent one or I don't know, something Sanderson wrote or potted about, but it's on like his wiki.
Oh, interesting.
There's like
Okay.
a Cosmere wiki and you can like read up on all of these things. Okay, so she was one of the zombies in Elantris. One of they were called Hoed. So
Oh,
she was one of like the sick people
yeah.
in Elantris. And then once all the Elantrians get healed, there's like a bunch of like no names. She was one of those no names.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And she was probably like, I'm out of here. I don't want to be doing this. So her and a group of people, they're in a spaceship, they're flying around, they're going all these different planets. And then she's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Tress's planet because it seems low key. These people don't have strong magic. My magic is way stronger, and I can just be a baddie here.
She was right.
Yeah. And then Hoyd and Ulam show up, and she's like, oh, you guys have the same idea. So then she wanted to try to like get rid of them. And
Oh.
so that's why she like made this deal to send Hoyd on like this goose chase that she thought he would never be able to complete.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, wow. So does she get sent back to Elantris? Is that the, or we just don't know?
I don't know. She's in her spaceship now. She's flying around.
Fascinating. Wow. Wow, you
And
did some
it's
good detective work there.
okay, like it's one of those things, and this is the same thing like a Court of Thorn and Roses, where it gets layered in piece by piece, and every piece you're like, okay, okay, okay. And by the end of it, you're like, I'm an insane person. Me trying to describe this to you and her spaceship and her iPad and I'm like, that's crazy. But when I was reading it, I was like, oh, this makes sense. That makes sense. Like, I'm following it. But it is a little insane.
It is. Okay, well, first one thing before I have my comment on the end. I did some Googling myself just now. Do you know what the Aeon Re means? Because her name is like Reek
Oh,
or
it's like
something.
Reum or something.
RIIK. Yeah, something.
Ooh, no. What does it mean?
So the Aeon Re, RII, means wealth, affluence.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Mm-hmm. Like Telri.
Telri.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow. You could reread Elantris.
I wouldn't mind rereading it independently. I can't pot it again.
You don't want to spend the next 3 months?
Oh my God. We'd get through it a lot faster, probably.
Probably.
Um,
I don't know.
Elantris was a really good read.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking back on it, like, wow, that was a lot of really good world building and stuff that happened there.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Okay, but my thought on this last part was I felt like it was also kooky. And it felt very cartoony. And the new word that I was trying to come up with was felt very TJ Clooney.
Uh,
Because our biggest complaint with the second TJ Klune book we read, Somewhere Beyond the Sea, was that the villain came up and then they literally just poofed her away. And I was like, that kind of feels like what happened here. Like suddenly they have FaceTime. Okay, and then also with the FaceTime thing, Tress is FaceTiming them for like minutes. Like they're having a full conversation. And they were just trying to distract the sorceress so she doesn't know. But like, how did the sorceress not notice for that long?
That was strange. And Sanderson tried to sidestep it by saying she could only like concentrate because basically she had all of her gold minions and then she had all of her sea serpents.
Right.
And so she's trying to like control all of them. She's like trying to multitask with like 1,000 things.
That's true.
And so he was trying to say by her trying to control all of these minions to get them to do what she needed them because they were just kind of like programmed robots basically with very specific codes.
Yeah.
Now she's trying to make them more dynamic and like more sentient, so she has to spend more energy like telling them what to do. He was trying to use that as that's why she couldn't see Tress FaceTiming the crew, which it's
Right
like
in front
that
of
feels
her.
like number one to knock out before like
I know. Why don't you tie Tress up or something? Like she's
yeah,
not a very for how powerful she is and how, she totally was dominating the world for so long. She really wasn't that good when we met her.
total clown.
She's just a good programmer. Maybe that's his whole thing. He said, "Look, she used her mind and look where it got her."
She so we have two villains in the story. I mean, we have a couple, but two
Hmm.
big villains, the dragon and then the
Crow.
sorceress. And Crow, yeah. Crow felt like a great villain.
Yeah, she was good.
The dragon, very interesting villain.
Hmm.
The sorceress, definitely like clown. Just like,
Yeah,
what? Like Bozo the clown, you're the final boss?
I know. What was it? Do you think? I don't know.
I
Was that
think,
what he was going for?
I feel like what it is that he was trying to bring Tress from just like a standalone in the Cosmere into like the broader universe.
Oh, okay.
And if I'm thinking about it, he wrote this during COVID and he had it as part of like his Kickstarter for like his dedicated fans.
Right.
So I feel like that last little bit was for the fans of like, oh, this is how we get a cameo of all of these cool people and like, look, all this stuff.
It's like a highlight reel for the true
Yeah,
fans.
of like tying pieces together and now you know this and now you know that and this is more about Hoyd and oh my God, now Hoyd has a Lantrian magic, which I think as like a Brandon Sanderson fan, for me that hyped
Yeah.
me
You're like,
up.
that's
But
so cool.
yeah, oh my God, you don't even pay attention to the fact that she just got like sent off in a spaceship.
I paid attention to it. I was very confused.
Yeah, but if you're not being dazzled by these small, insignificant facts to the
Yeah.
story, then you're like, WTF.
I think you're right. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think that last bit was just for the fans.
I feel like it could have been done a little differently, though.
What would you have liked to have seen?
I would have liked to see a little bit more strategy coming from all members. I mean, the um pirate ship people, they they were pretty good. They had to like maneuver through the rocks. They had to use the spores to capture all the gold soldiers and stuff. But Tressa just kind of seemed like I really liked how clever she was with the dragon. There
Hmm.
was no clever things happening with the sorceress,
It was a
is what
lot
I
of
felt
plot
like.
armor. The
Yeah.
iPad, she's able to like, the witch didn't put like the mute button on.
I know she didn't put like child protection. She didn't have a password. Like, what kind of, where's your IT security? That was category 5.
Yeah.
I bet her Zoom meeting was a lot worse than yours.
Oh my God, the blameless Zoom meeting. Oh, her 500 gold soldiers are on it, and they're like, we're all tied up now. Because your password was 123.
Who told you about this?
Ugh.
Oh my gosh.
I think I think there could have definitely been a better way to do it. And it's strange because Sanderson at the end he says he wrote this book without a timeline. However, he
So
mentioned the
bad.
timeline a couple times. or the deadline rather. So I don't know. Maybe he did a. It does kind of feel like the book fell off at the end there.
It did a little bit, which was I was bummed because I loved. I mean, I still like the book overall a lot. I still really enjoy it. I'd still highly recommend it, but the ending did feel very strange. The epilogue, I think it tied together a lot better, but this like final boss scene, I was like, felt like it could have been better.
The sorceress, for as
Wasn't as
strong as
tight.
she was feared, was not.
Yeah,
And if I had to like really throw Sandy a bone, maybe the point is that like we make people up to be these villains that they're not.
that's possible.
And she seems like she was impossible to defeat, and it turns out she's just total buffoon.
Yeah,
But
I could
that is
see
a
that.
very generous bone that I'm throwing them.
Yeah, it just didn't seem to fit with everything else.
No, and like the iPad part, that was what the podcast like really railed on too. They're like, why does he have an iPad? I kind of like it in the sense that like it doesn't fit with the story because it's technology that's from a different planet. So it's not supposed to fit.
Oh.
She brought that with her.
Oh, okay, okay. A few people had that complaint on the Reddits. So that makes
Yeah,
sense. Because I was like, it did feel a little bit weird.
right. Like at first you're like, oh, it's just like a magic like talking thing. Okay, cool. And then you find out it's an iPad and you're like, okay, number one, that's not as cool. Number two, that doesn't fit the rest. But in the
It's from a
context
different
of
world.
she's from a different world, I'm kind of okay with that.
Okay. Yeah, I could get on board.
But there wasn't a lot of explaining going on. And the
Yeah,
spaceship part was kind of crazy.
it seemed like there was a lot of holes where everything else was so tight.
Yeah.
So I think that's my big complaint where I'm like, oh man, what happened
Hmm.
here?
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know exactly how I would have wanted the sorceress to have been defeated.
I would have liked I would have liked Tress to have used her spore magic to defeat the
Oh,
sorceress.
yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah, 'cause yeah, that was the other thing. Tress didn't do anything at the end. Like she did so much leading up to this. But when she was there, she didn't really do anything. She just talked to them on the iPad, right?
Yeah.
Which might have been part of his point because at one point the crew was like, "Tell us what you need," because Tress hadn't been asking for help because she didn't want to like put them in danger. But then there's this big moment where she's like, "I need your help," and they're like, "Yes." And so now they get to like do all the things. So I think part of it was like, you need your team to help you. It's okay to ask for help and rely on other people. But she could have done something. I like your idea about the spores. That could have been
Yeah,
involved.
I feel like there could have been something where, she equipped people with like crimson spore armor or something, or I don't know if that would work, or I don't know, like use them as like weapons or some of her like flare gun techniques and like
They used her cannonballs. The crew did use her cannonballs to immobilize the guards.
the guards. Yeah. I kind of wish Hoyd didn't it
Wasn't the
wasn't
big
Hoyd that
hero.
saved the day. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But that was kind of what we were saying he was going to do. We're like, he's the random character who's just going to save them all at the end. And maybe that was part of it too. It's like the least likely guy ends up being the biggest hero. So, like, never judge someone. You never know who they really are.
I I think I can like look at it and appreciate like these aspects, but in terms of execution, I agree. It's like a little sloppy.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
Yeah. The other thing the Busy Girl Book Club said is that they said it made Tress's world feel small. Hearing about like, oh, it turns out that there's actually these other worlds and these other people and like Tress's problems are itty bitty.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I didn't mind that aspect. I kind of liked that, but I think it's because I'm like a Sanderson fan. I'm a Sanderson,
Sanderson.
so yeah.
Yeah. I could see that because honestly, we've traveled around all of Tress's world. We've gone
Yeah.
across all the seas, haven't we? Or at least
No, there's
most of them.
12. And
Oh,
no,
there's
there's 12.
12.
We only went to 3.
Oh. But isn't midnight like hardest to get to?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know.
The other ones might be lame. We don't know.
Yeah. Maybe there'll be a Tress 2.
There could be. I wouldn't be surprised. Tress will probably get. So, what I'm taking from each of these books that are happening in the Cosmere series is you get like these heroes or these like key players. And I don't think very often the hero of the book will go on to like the broader Cosmere. Like Tress and Charlie will probably live in their worlds because we've already
Okay.
had their story. But maybe someone like Soleil or Fort or Anne, they'll become a world traveler.
I see. Yeah. They get their
And it's
sideshow.
they get like the yeah, and then it turns into I think it's turning into like the Marvel Avengers.
Wow. It is pretty complex.
Yeah. And so you're starting to get like this world traveling group, and they're going to get people from all these different planets with these different powers and abilities, and they're all going to kind of
Oh,
converge together. I think that's kind of where the broader story is going.
I see. So you think he's going to come out with an Avengers type of book?
Yes, I think so.
That would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I would enjoy that.
So that's why, to me, I don't mind it making the worlds feel small because in the universe, it is small.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's a good point.
all right.
Okay.
But that's it. Any other big comments? We ready to
Um,
rate?
I think we've talked about all the things. I did like the epilogue. I liked how it ended. And you're totally right. The Charlie needed to change too so that they could stay together.
Yes, so that was the one thing about the ending that I thought Sanderson did
Oh, I
execute
did like
well
that. Mm-hmm.
because that was like a legitimate thought that I had that I'm like, okay, Tress has become this baddie and she's going to show up and she's going to be totally different.
Right.
Which again, with A Court of Thorn and Roses, you have these two people who may have at one point been really compatible together, but now they're growing in different directions and they're not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I thought
Right.
that was a
Not
clever way to
Tress
do
and
it.
Huck. I know. Do you think Tress and Charlie could have stayed together even if he wasn't on the ship? How did he get on the first pirate ship? Was he looking
So
for Tress?
I think so. I think
Oh.
the witch appeared him on a ship that was going there.
Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense.
Why she would want to do that, maybe just for fun.
Yeah. Seems like she's setting up all of her own demises. But yeah, maybe she just enjoys this kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she wants more people to try to go to her so that they die to keep her evil name
Oh, maybe.
alive. And she thought
Yeah.
this guy is a wimp who's naming his toenails. Like, I don't think that he's going to be able to accomplish this.
I forgot about that. That
You
was
know,
wild. Okay, we ready to rate?
I think so.
Okay, message slash theme.
5.
Me too. I really liked all the things he talked about here.
Yeah.
Writing style.
I'd give it a 5. I think this is the best well-written Sanderson book that I've read.
I was thinking five too.
Hmm.
Character depth.
I mean, I think a 5. I liked everybody
I know,
except for
because
the witch and like the end.
I was gonna say, except for the sorceress, I felt like a lot of players had a lot of different facets. I'm also thinking five.
I mean, yeah, because the book is not terribly long for as big of a cast as it is,
Yeah.
and for all these different people's motivations. And for the most part, it all really made a lot of sense. Even like
Mm-hmm.
Crow, I really liked her as a villain and her
Yeah.
ending. I thought that tied out nicely. So,
Yeah. Every character is very unique. I'm a fan.
hmm
Okay, lands a plane.
I'm gonna give a 3.
Ooh. I was thinking four because I did like it. I did like the epilogue. I don't know, but maybe a 3.5 because I did feel like this final scene was the weakest part of the book.
I would have said a 4 before we talked about it, but like after recapping it and saying, I was like, I sound like an insane person.
If I sound insane when summarizing it, it's a three.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things where you're kind of like, did the book warrant such a complex ending like that?
Yeah, I think maybe that's it. It came out of nowhere a little bit.
Yeah. And it's like with Elantris, everything was happening all at once also, but everything was happening all the
That was the
time.
whole
So it
book.
it was the
Yeah.
whole book. So to me, it felt like there was this big buildup happening. So it made sense that it was like this, like, whoa. With
Yeah.
Tress, it felt very like even for most of the book. And then at the end, like this wild, like, what?
Right. And then it wasn't the same type of clever as the rest of the book. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 3.5.
Okay.
How about entertainment?
I would give it a 4.
Okay. Why not a five?
I liked it and I enjoyed reading it, but if I'm talking about pure entertainment, like I hate to say this, but A Court of Thorn and Roses, I can read way faster.
Oh,
And I'm like, I think it's because it's more entertaining. Maybe there's like less life. I don't know. It's just easier for me to read.
yeah, I get that. I was excited to read this book. Like I felt like I was always like, oh, I'm excited to, go back to it. But
Hmm.
also it's a little hard because we also had a book club. And so like if I didn't have a book club, would I have still been as excited? I think so. I think I really liked it. I'll
Okay.
go 4.5.
All right.
All right, other miscellaneous. Anything else that wasn't captured?
I feel like I got everything, but what about you?
Yeah, I think that was everything we talked about. I just really liked it. I liked all the characters, how wholesome it was, good life lessons, funny.
Yeah.
We had it all.
Yeah. I think if the ending had been executed correctly or better, I think I would give it a 5, like overall. But the ending, especially if you haven't read all like 25 books in his catalog, which, if it's a standalone book, you don't need to
Yeah,
read it, but I felt like it was not introduced as delicately as it could have been.
yeah. Man, okay, I was trying to mess around with the numbers. Guess what our final score was?
Probably a 4.5.
It was exactly a 4.5. And I wish it was a little bit higher. So I really did like
Mm,
it. So I
do
was
you
trying
want to
to move
just
into more fives, but it really didn't change it. So I didn't bother. I
do you want to just what number do you want it to be?
think a 4.7.
All right. We'll give it a bonus point two.
For good behavior.
For good behavior, for having relationships that sound like they don't need to go to a therapist.
Oh my gosh, that's all I want. Would you recommend this book to a friend?
I would 100% recommend this book. I think something else that maybe we could add is cleverness of the world building. I would give it a
Oh,
5 for like just the
that's
uniqueness.
true. Do you want me to add a five in there?
Yeah, let's put a 5 in that other category.
Me
We'll
too.
give it that. All right, is
All
it
right,
4.7 now?
4.58.
I
It's
think we
tough to
can
bring
make
up those threes.
I know. I think we can only give it a 4.6 maybe.
Man, okay. I'll take it.
But like comparing it to A Court of Thorn and Roses, which is also fantasy, and it does have like a big world, but so much of it feels pretty much like European culture with like a magic
Yeah.
flair.
Yeah.
This feels 100% unique.
Yeah, I really love the world building he came up with. All makes sense, very creative.
Hmm. Very logical.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, did you ever send me your emojis?
No, are we still doing that?
I did it
When did you send me emojis?
after I finished it. It was a couple days ago. All right, you can
What?
just guess mine.
Okay. When did you send them?
It's a long time ago.
Um,
Here it is. And I wrote down on the
oh, I
net.
didn't even know that was for I guess now it makes sense.
What did you think I
Candy
was
sent me,
doing?
well, Candy sent me three other totally unrelated messages about current events things. And she sent me four random emojis. And she said, also finished Tress. Very good. So I guess it makes sense. I just missed that. Totally.
Oh no, I thought I wrote down somewhere what it was, but now I'm not seeing it.
Oh no.
Okay,
We'll
I think I
never
remember it.
know.
All right, go ahead and describe and guess.
Okay, so there's four emojis. There's a light bulb, a castle, a clock, and a black hole. Is this just about the ending? Just about the part we've read? Or the whole book?
It's just about the ending, I guess.
Okay. All right. Tress has a bright idea to get around the dragon.
Oh,
That's
that's a
light
good
bulb.
one. I was
Oh, is that
thinking
it?
we were the light bulbs. We're like, oh, Charlie's Huck. Got it right.
Okay. Okay, I like that. Um, next one's the castle. Is that just when they're going to see the sorceress? Did it feel like Disney World?
It just felt like Rapunzel's tower. It felt very
Yeah.
like Rapunzel's tower to me.
Yeah. I could see that. Okay, clock. You felt like it was going on too long?
The deadline is nigh.
Oh, yes. I want to read more of his books and just see if he talks about deadlines.
I know.
Okay, last one, Black Hole. Is that because the plot just went crazy and everything conveniently disappeared and all worked out?
That would make sense based on what we talked about, but for me, that was me falling down into like a black hole of all of the different references and like, what does this
Oh.
mean? What does that mean? What is this, that? And I just kept falling,
You're a
falling,
math
falling.
meme.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, you there's a lot in those last few pages. Okay. I don't have a ton from Reddit, but there were some Elantris um shout outs. So I thought those were fun.
Ooh. All
So
right, read them.
a lot of people really love this book. Someone asked something like, I've read Tress. What about his other books? What are those like? Where does this rank on your all of your Sanderson books? Okay, and someone said, I've decided to rank these books on the amount of investment you need to make to finish the book versus the amount of joy upon completion.
Hmm.
Tress is low investment, short length, not a lot of characters or places to memorize, etc., but it has an excellent payoff, making it a fantastic read and near the top of the Cosmere list. I haven't read any other books, but I agree. On the
Would you call
opposite
it
end,
excellent payoff?
I would say excellent payoff because I mean, even I think we just dwelled on the ending a lot.
Yeah.
The end here, I didn't like it when I read it. Like I didn't like that part of the ending, but overall, when I finished the book, I'm like, that was a good book. I would still recommend it to someone. I think it's still a really
Yeah.
good book.
Yeah. I think so
So
too.
I would still say, and like the world building's so fun, especially if you're not super familiar with fantasy. It's like this is really fun.
Hmm.
It's a fun world.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, I think the payoff is seeing Tress become who she's supposed to be, maybe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of good things that happen.
Hmm.
So big fan. Okay, on the opposite end, you've got something like Elantris, which to me has a high investment and a good payoff, but it makes it feel worse due to how long the book is. I do think it has a lot of investment.
A big investment. 30
Yeah.
hours worth.
Yeah. That was, I guess that was the Elantris one I had pulled out. Oh, some people didn't like the puns. I love the puns.
You're a punny girl.
I know.
You're Tressy. So, of course, you liked it.
Did you think it was too many puns?
I didn't think so. I felt like it was in line with the book and the flavor of the book. And it's kind
Yeah,
of quirky, and Tress is a little strange, and she likes her antiques and her teacups, and she likes like puns. And I felt like that felt,
really is me.
yeah, it just felt on brand to me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, a good number of people didn't finish it because of puns and other things.
What?
So
Okay.
I know. I loved it. Some people thought it was boring. I was like, what?
Oh, well,
So
okay.
yeah. But yeah, a lot of people loved it. Someone said it was like Studio Ghibli meets pirates.
Okay. I could see
What do you
that.
think about that, since you're an expert Ghiblier?
I know I went to Studio Ghibli when I went to Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see Studio Ghibli doing like an animation series of this, and it would be really cool.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
so I could definitely see
Yeah.
that.
Okay, anything else?
I think that's it. I think we did the thing.
This was a great book.
Hmm. I know. I'm really glad we read it. It was like such a nice palate cleanse.
It was so refreshing, really enjoyable, so wholesome.
So,
Are you
a
ready to
court.
go to the pits?
The Under the Mountain.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
I am enjoying A Court of Mist and Fury. I mean, I'm almost 200 pages in, and it's gone really fast, I will say.
Yeah.
Um,
Entertainment, she's got it down.
yeah, but Feyre as a human, as a person, as a fairy,
Gosh.
the worst.
Crazy. All of them.
Yeah,
Not all of them, but pretty much all of them.
all toxic AF. It's like, oh my
I
God.
know. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. But we'll talk about that more tomorrow.
That's right. Okay, well, if you haven't, we could really use your help with a 5-star review, please and thank you, on Spotify
Hmm.
and Apple if you're able. We could
We
really,
should
really
probably
use
say
your
this. We should probably say this at the beginning of the episode.
Maybe we can splice that in. Please give us a 5-star review. Please and thank you. But yeah, that's it. We'll
Hmm.
see you next time for A Court of Mist and Fury.
Hmm. Echo Moth.
That's right.
I
Echo Moth.
don't know why it hasn't caught on more.
Yeah, I know. It just rolls off the tongue.
I know. All
Ah,
right, I love you.
love you too. Bye.
Bye.